Welcome! Tonight we're going to look over a bit about integrating evidence into our papers, and this is very important for research papers and persuasive papers because those require a bit more outside research than something compared to, say, a narrative essay or a reflective essay. So anytime a reader might wonder, where did your information come from? Or how do you know that's true? This is a good opportunity to support your statement with relevant, credible evidence. And in your persuasive drafts, you may have noticed that I might have left some comments to point out areas where I'm asking, how do we know this? Or where does this information come from? And those are opportunities to include evidence to support your claims. So the first common mistake would be sweeping claims and assumptions. So the sections here in gray, these are poor examples. And then the section down at the bottom with a little plus sign, that's a good example of how we can fix it. So a common error might be when someone writes that most people agree that children benefit from playing on youth sports teams. Or everyone knows that children benefit from playing on sports teams. And while you might have an idea of some sort of evidence to support this, a reader looking at either of these two gray sentences might ask you and challenge you to say, well, how do you know that? How do you know that most people agree? Did you poll a bunch of people? Did you take a survey of parents or coaches or physicians? And especially in the second one, everyone knows. We want to avoid those sweeping statements because maybe not everyone knows this and maybe it's not quite true. But when we look at a revision of this sentence down at the bottom with the plus sign there, we can revise this to incorporate evidence to support what we're trying to say. So if we were to write, according to the Institute of Youth Health, and provide a date of their publication, children who participate in youth sports are more likely to live a healthy lifestyle. Now we're making the same claim, the same basic idea is being conveyed, but we're incorporating research and we're including evidence to show our reader where this information came from. And it makes it much more credible. The second common mistake is mentioning this research but without citing it. So if we were to write the gray sentence there, research says that children benefit from playing on youth sports teams. That may very well be true, but our readers are going to ask, what research? How do we know it's credible? Where can we find this research? So in order to avoid that kind of confusion or frustration for readers, and in order to lend more credibility to our argument, we can adjust the sentence to the second version, again with the plus sign, and say, according to research published by the Institute of Youth Health, providing the date there in APA style, children who participate in youth sports are more likely to live a healthy lifestyle. So when we compare these two sentences, the gray one and the dark blue one below it, we see that the second sentence is much stronger in supporting a claim about this topic. And a third common mistake is inflammatory language or tone. So you want to make sure that you respect your readers. The first two sentences there are somewhat inappropriate for an academic setting. So if someone were to say to you, how could you possibly think spending time in a library is healthier than playing sports? Or if someone were to say to you, everybody knows that sports are good for kids, and if you don't agree, then you're stupid. These types of statements and these types of tones, they really break down communication. They stop your reader from wanting to learn more because you're not opening the door for a respectful debate. You're simply making claims or accusations without really giving the other side much to work with and without really respecting them either. So a way we can change this is to approach it more respectfully and incorporate research without accusing our readers of being stupid or silly or anything along those lines. So one way to do this would be, again, the sentence with the plus sign. According to research published by the Institute of Youth Health, 2014, children who participate in youth sports for at least 2 hours each week are more likely to live a healthy lifestyle than children who spend that time studying. So instead of telling your reader, you're just stupid for not understanding this, you're actually providing data and reasoning behind your argument. Now, if you have any questions or if this is still confusing, you're welcome to contact me by email and we can schedule a phone appointment, or you can drop in for office hours.